Yeah, good morning all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, take your notebook, be ready with it. After each class, you should upload that day's notes. Then only I'll be giving the attendance. So take care to write down the notes as you watch the class so you can save time later. We'll be starting with chapter 11, Human Eye and Colorful World. Chapter 11, Human Eye and Colorful World. Give today's date, write chapter heading. It's a very interesting chapter, very short chapter, very easy to learn also, nothing much is there. And whatever you have studied from chapter 10, we require it here. So without understanding basics of chapter 10, that is primarily I'm talking about lens, you cannot understand the initial portion of this chapter, because whatever term, that is focal length or types of lens, concave, convex, these are all necessary for studying the initial parts of this chapter. Ensure that you know the concepts of chapter 10 well. If not, try to revise it and be thorough with it from tomorrow onwards. Today we'll only see the structure of human eye, so not much required. But after the portion when we study about eye defects, to do problems, again we should use lens formula like that, magnification, all those things. So first portion is regarding human eye. Tell me what you mean by human eye. What do you mean by human eye? Simple question.
It is the most valuable organ.
Yeah, it is the most valuable organ. What organ? There are different types of organ. Eye we categorize as a type of dash organ. What organ? Eye we categorize as, yeah, it is a sense organ. It is one of those sense organ that we talk about, right? And it is a very valuable thing. Why? Why use the term valuable? Why eye is so valuable to us?
Because it helps us to see the beautiful.
Yeah, it helps us to see the beautiful. It helps us to see the beautiful things. Then
Color.
yeah, color. That is again very important thing. Color. Due to human eye only, we can enjoy these benefits of color. We can distinguish color, all those things. It is possible because of eye. And apart from this, we have two eyes. And because of these two eyes only, you can perceive a concept known as depth. Those are familiar with photography, know depth of field and all. So you can perceive depth between two objects because of human eye. So these are the main characteristics when we talk about eye. It is basically an instrument, or we can say it is an optical device, a naturally occurring optical device. That is what eye is. Now, it is a sense organ. It helps us to see the beautiful things around, perceive colors, and to understand depth between whatever objects are aligned in front of you. So these are the general views of eye. So write down, human eye is one of the most valuable and sensitive sense organs in the human body. Write down. Simple thing you already know, but as a part of introduction, we need to write these things. Now function, it enables us to see the wonderful world and colors around us. It also enables us to perceive depth. Perceive depth. Written?
Yes, sir.
Can anyone tell me what is the study of eye called? Study of eye. If you want help, I will say first letter, it start with O, end with Y.
Ophthalmology.
Yeah, it is ophthalmology. So those who don't know, take note of that. Study of eye, we call it as ophthalmology. And in future, those are aiming for any medical profession, you can aim to be an ophthalmologist. So that is a very good option. So study of eye, we call ophthalmology. That is just a general idea. Chapter starts with the structure of human eye. Now in the structure of human eye, you can look from two things. One is the external view. Normally, when you talk to a person, where do you look the person and talk? Or where you are supposed to look the person and talk? You look or not, that is another thing. But you are supposed to look on a person's
Eyes.
yeah, eyes.
Eye.
So during that time, you are used to see their structure, right? That is a front view. So we have to see the external view of the eye, and later, most importantly, we will see the internal view. Fine. So two views we will talk about. First one, we will see the external view of the eye. That is, when I stare at a person's face, I will see their eye. Now, generally, when I talk about eye, it is nothing but a ball-like structure. You will see a ball-like structure. And this ball, we call it as eyeball. This eyeball, when placed in human beings, it is enclosed in another structure. That is, we have a socket in our face. In that, we place this eyeball. If I focus on that view, this is what you see. Now, can you tell me what is this part called? That is the white part of an eye, or eyeball predominantly consists of white part. As you can see, eyeball predominantly consists of white part. This has a particular name. It is known as, write it down, sclera. So this white part of the eye, we call it as sclera. Next to sclera, you can see a colored portion. And here, tell me, what is the color of this person's eye? What is the color of this person's eye?
Brown.
Brown. Yeah. So we'll say this person has brown eyes. And when I say brown, I will focus on this particular region. That is, at the center of this eyeball or white scleral region, you can see a colored portion. and it is not brown throughout. At the center, again, color changes. But predominantly, this portion, it is brown in color. And this colored portion, you call it as iris. So second term, iris. And when you talk about people's eye color, it is the color of iris that you mean. So it can be of different colors. It can be blue, black, green, sky blue, anything. And all this color is due to the variation of their pigment. So there is a direct correlation between the eye color and the pigment present in the iris. So that is what is giving all those colors. Written, completed, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now at the center, what you see? At the center, what you see? What color?
Black.
Yeah, black. And this portion, we call it as, this black portion or the centralmost point of the eye, we call it as dash.
Pupil.
Yeah, it is known as pupil. It is known as pupil. So just mark it, draw it, mark it, pupil. Now, pupil, don't think it is actually a black in color. It is nothing but a small hole. Don't think of in terms of iris. Iris and all, there is a surface, whereas pupil is a very small opening or hole. And due to that hole only, see, last chapter you have studied, when do objects appear black in regard to reflection? We have seen that point. Either they should absorb what?
All the colors of the light.
Yeah, all the colors that is falling on it. Here, the pupil, as it is an opening, all the light that is going into the pupil is entering the pupil and it is not reflecting any light. So if there is no reflection, you will see what? No color. So that is why pupil appears to be black. Fine. So this is the front view of the eye. Very simple. Three structures mainly: sclera, iris, pupil. And this all things, if you want, you can mark what? Eyelids, whatever. We are not focusing on that. We only need these three terms. So sclera, iris, pupil. Now, have you touched your eye?
Yes.
When you try to touch, what is the nature? How does it feel? Dry or moist? When you touch the eye, usually, yeah, it is moist. Do you know what is the reason? Because we have tear glands all surrounding it. It keeps eye moist. So every time our eyes kept moist due to the presence of tear glands surrounding this region. Now, this is one characteristic of evolution also. See, we believe that human beings have evolved from where? When you study the course of evolution, we know that first life originated in what? Water, or I can say sea. And later, the sea animals. So first you got those fishes and all. Then we got what? Reptiles. They came into land. We have amphibians. From amphibians only, we have mammals. So that is the course of evolution. Imagine one of your ancestors which were looking similar to present human beings. They had eyes evolved in water. So we are an after product of life evolved in water. That is why still in 21st century, we have what? A reminiscence of characteristic that our evolution has come from sea or water. That is what the moist nature of eye shows. Just keep that thing in mind, because evolution you will again study in detail in later chapters. Okay. In all these diagrams, you can see, is the color of the pupil changing?
No.
Then what is only changing here?
Iris.
Yeah, iris color is only changing. So never think that when you talk about eye color, I'm only meaning about color of iris. The pupil color will always remain black itself. So next we'll talk about the internal structure of eye. And study of internal structure, we call it as anatomy. So we can say it is human eye anatomy. If you are not familiar with the word, just write it down. Anatomy means study of internal structures. We can say eye consists of basically three layers. The human eye consists of basically three layers. It have an outer layer, a middle layer, and an inner layer. So we have to see each one in detail. So this is the first part of the eye, that is the outermost covering. And this outermost layer, we have already seen that. It is what? White in color. And what is the name of this white part of the eye? It is called as?
Sclera.
Yeah, sclera. So first part you can mark, it is the sclera. And again, I'm repeating, our eye is made up of mainly three layers. An outer layer, it is called as sclera. Now, as it is the outer layer, what will be its function? Any outer layer, its function is generally the same thing. If I talk about outer layer of cell, of a plant cell, which is the outer layer of a plant cell, for a plant cell, which is the outermost layer. All cells, epidermis, haven't heard of this one.
Yes.
Whereas talking about animal cell, what is the outermost layer in animal cell? Animal cell, you can call it in two ways. Either it is called cell membrane, or what is the other name for cell membrane? It's also called?
Plasma.
Yeah, plasma membrane. So these are the outermost covering. And if I ask you what is the function of plasma membrane or cell wall, it is mainly what? So all the outermost structure in whatever things you study, if something is covered by an outermost layer, it is usually dash in function. It is usually protective. It tries to protect the innermost layers. Fine. So we can say sclera also protects the other contents of the eye. Now, Coming to this region, you can see there is a small bulge. In all this region, it is a kind of circular shape, but coming to this region, you can see a small bulge outwards, right? So this bulged portion, we call it as cornea. Note it down, cornea. It is the bulged portion of the sclera. Now, cornea is very, very important because suppose if an external light comes to your eye, this light rays first come in contact with what? This cornea. So cornea is what the light encounters first. And here only the refraction start to occur. Outside medium is what? Outside medium is air. Cornea, it is made up of a transparent material. So here, if the medium changes, you know, refraction will occur. When light moves from one medium to another, there will be refraction. So the refraction starts from cornea. That is the significance. Now we have to see the second layer. Second layer, it is not mentioned in your textbook, but you have already studied in 8th standard. Second layer, it is known as choroid. Note it down. The middle layer of the eye is known as choroid. C-H-O-R-O-I-D, middle layer. Now you can see the choroid will terminate into a small region like this. And this region is what you call iris. This region is known as iris. So iris is an extension of this choroidal layer. We'll mark it later. Just understand, choroidal layer will terminate into the two iris. Fine. Now comes the innermost layer. Innermost layer of the eye, it is called as, mark it down, retina. The innermost layer of the eye, we call it as retina. So these are the three main layers of the eye. Outer region sclera, middle region choroid, and innermost layer retina. If I focus on the structure of the retina, it is usually supplied with different types of cells. So in the walls of retina, you can see different types of cells distributed. And this type of cell, you call it as photoreceptors. The wall of the retina is supplied with numerous types of photoreceptors. Photoreceptors. There are mainly two types of photoreceptors, namely rods and cones. So if you look at the surface of the retina, you can see two types of photoreceptor cells distributed all over. They are known as rods and cones. Now, significance of retina. See, normally when light enters the eye, the image formation will be occurring on this region. That is, it is on the retina where the image is formed. So it will act like a what? A screen. So retina acts like a screen on which image is formed. And if an image can be obtained on a screen, such images are called dash. What is that? If you can obtain an image on a screen, such images are called
Concave.
Real image.
Yeah, it is known as real image. So I can say your eye also form a real image because the image is formed on the screen and here the screen is retina. Now we have to see other structures. So these are regarding the layers of the eye. You can see a gap between what? A gap between this cornea and this iris. Yes or no? I told this is iris. Up and down, you have iris. Now this gap between the cornea and iris, it is usually filled with a fluid-like material. And this fluid-like material, you call it as aqueous humor. Note it down. The fluid content that is present between the cornea and iris. This you call it as aqueous humor. Now this two portion, I've already told, this is the iris or colored region. Iris or colored region. Now in the middle portion, you have an opening and you already know the name of this opening. It is called?
Pupil.
Yeah, it is called pupil. So mark it down. It is the pupil. So the opening that you see in that middle region of the eye, we call it as pupil. Or you can say pupil is present between what? Pupil is present between the iris. So pupil is present between iris. Next to this pupil, you have the main part of the eye, that is the eye lens. So normally to form any image, you need a lens. So lens will only form or converse this rays to retina. For that purpose, you need a lens. And this lens, we call it as eye lens or crystalline lens. Now, if I look at the components of this eye lens, it is usually made up of a protein known as crystalline. So it is made up of a protein known as crystalline. That is why we have the name crystalline lens. If you see this lens, it is held together or it is fixed at this region by two kinds of muscles on the up and bottom part. These two muscles, we call it as ciliary muscles. So that is in S part. So what are ciliary muscles? These are the muscles which hold the eye lens into its position. Now, depending on this movement of ciliary muscles, there is two possible positions for this eye lens. Either it can be thick like this or it can be thin. So eye lens, it has the ability to adjust itself. It can adjust its own shape. It can be either thin or thick. That is due to the movement of ciliary muscles. Any muscles, they have only two kinds of movement, contraction, relaxation. So depending on that, two possible shapes are possible. So again, I'm repeating ciliary muscles. What are the function? It holds the eyelids together and it is capable of altering the shape of the eyelids. So eyelids can be either thick or thin. And we'll study when it is thick. Usually when the objects are very far distance, the eyelids is very thin. Then it will form the image here. When the objects are placed at a short distance, then the eyelids will become very thick. So that is a normal movement that we'll study in detail later. Now you can see an empty region here. That is between the eyelids and retina, there is this much empty region. This region is also filled with a fluid, and that fluid we call it as vitreous humor. Vitreous humor. So what is vitreous humor? It is a fluid present between eyelids and retina. So there are two fluids. One was aqueous humor. Aqueous humor present where? Between cornea and iris. Whereas vitreous humor, it is present between eyelids and retina. Don't confuse these two. Aqueous and vitreous. Use some or the other technique to remember this. Fine. So these are all the main structure. Now the image is formed on the retina. Now from there, this information should be taken to the brain. Then only brain can use what? Its own different mechanism to give a perception of image. For that, this region, that is retinal region, you can see system of nerves coming out. And we call that system of nerves as optic nerve. So that is the main important region. That is, you can see a system of optic nerve coming from this region. And what is the function? It will send whatever signals that is formed on the retina, it will send to the brain. So that is the function of this optic nerve. You'll study in chapter 7, I think, control and coordination. You'll study all about nerves. We have different types of nerves, cranial nerve, and optic nerve is one of the cranial nerves. There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Optic nerve is one among them. Fine. So what is the function of optic nerve? It will send the signal formed on the retina to the brain. Now here again, you can see a spot located here. In this region, it is a junction of retina and optic nerve. You can see this is a junction of retina and optic nerve. And in this region, if you focus, there is no rods or cones. In all other region, you can see rods and cones. But on this particular region, there is no rods and cones. And that particular region, you call it as blind spot. So blind spot is a region where the photoreceptor cells are absent. Now, as photoreceptor cells are absent, suppose if your eye lens forms an image exactly at this point, you will not be able to see it. So it is a spot where even though image formation occurs, you will not be able to see. Because why? Because there are no rods or cones. They will not interpret the signal. It will not be sent to the brain. So that region, you call it as blind spot. So image formed on the blind spot, you will not be able to see. Fine. Now you can see one more exact opposite spot for blind spot in here. This region is densely packed with rods and cones. So you can call this as a sweet spot, or this is known as fovea. So fovea is the ideal spot for image formation. That's all about the main structures. I hope it is clear. Any doubts, ask it fast regarding any different parts. Go through it. Any doubts, ask it fast. And if I summarize, I told you have a eyeball-like structure, and outermost layer, it is known as sclera. Now, the bulged portion of the sclera, you call it as cornea. Then you have the middle layer, which is called choroid. Now, inner to that, you have an inner layer, which is known as retina. And function of retina is it acts as a screen. And the surface of retina is supplied with numerous cells known as photoreceptors. They are mainly of two kinds, rods and cones. We'll see what other function in the next class. Then between this cornea and iris, you have a fluid-like material filling them that we call it as aqueous humor. Now you have iris on this region, and in the middle portion, you have a small opening. We call it as pupil. Now the main part, that is eye lens, which is held together by the ciliary muscles. And I told the name crystalline comes from a protein present in the eye lens known as crystallin. Here, this eye lens will be convex in nature, convex, or I can say this is a converging lens. So it will form what? It will form a real and inverted image on the retina. Then you have ciliary muscles, and after a last fluid present, that is vitreous humor, then optic nerve, then blind spot. So these are the main structures of the eye. So do one thing, draw the figures nicely, put all the labeling and upload today's note as assignment for marking the attendance. We'll see function of each part detail in the next class onwards. So today let's stop it here. So see you tomorrow. Study this much. Again, I'm reminding you, study daily, have the habit, make an habit, take every lesson seriously. Don't make any room for complaints later. So see you all tomorrow. Bye. Have a nice day. Take care.